Hey Growelt fans, before we get started today I want to invite everyone watching this to visit the Growelt website at growelt.com/BICHOK, B-I-C-H-O-K. With each one of these Growvlog videos that I do, I go kind of more in depth in a written format on the website, so I'll put that URL there in the video description and also in the video itself. If there is one most important principle to being a writer of any kind, whether that's a novelist or a nonfiction writer or someone who does essays or even, writing for school or business, that is the BICHOK principle, and that stands for butt in chair, hands on keyboard. Come to think of it, I don't know whether I'm pronouncing that acronym correctly. I've only ever seen it in print. Have you guys ever had that scenario? I read so much, as you can see all these books behind me, and this room's actually surrounded by bookcases. I read so much, and there are so many words that I've read and have never actually heard someone say, so I find myself in the embarrassing situation of sometimes pronouncing something incorrectly because I'm saying it out loud for the first time, and this is the first time I've ever said this out loud and not having, written it or read it typed somewhere. So if I'm mispronouncing BICHOK, if it's supposed to be BICHOK or something like that, I hope someone out there will correct me so I don't keep making an ass of myself. People always ask me, how do you finally get the rubber on the road? How do you sit down and just type and get it done? And I think when people ask me that question, they're kind of crossing their fingers hoping that I'm going to share some kind of magic secret that I've stumbled upon that I'm kind of hiding. Us writers are just hiding from everyone else and we don't want to share it. But there really isn't anything magical about it. Writing being an art, it kind of mystifies us, it impresses us, it speaks to our deeper emotions. So I think a lot of people expect for there to be some kind of, magic spell or pill that you can take that's going to unleash the floodgates of creativity. But there really is no substitute for just, sitting your ass in the chair and typing away. A lot of people, and myself included at times, try to wait for like the mood to strike you. I just don't feel it today. I'm not in the zone, so you don't get to work at all. You just leave it to the next day, the next day, the next day, and then every now and then you kind of, I'm in the mood for working on it, and then you sit down and do it. And the problem with that is the mood's almost never going to strike you. I probably write 6 days out of the week. There's usually 1 day a week that I try to get away from doing writing and focus on, just getting some personal things done. And out of those 6 days, maybe just one of them I actually feel like sitting down and writing. It's really just a force of habit. Writing or any other art form is, to me, kind of like working out. If you're not used to going through the motions, it can be daunting just to think about, like, oh man, I have to run 10 miles today? There's no way I can do that. I'm not used to doing it. So instead of facing the task in smaller steps and building up the good habits, most people will just say, we'll just leave it till tomorrow. And as we know, tomorrow never comes. That's why with writing, or, I also do some drawing. I haven't done that in a while. Exactly for this reason, is because I'm now kind of out of shape when it comes to drawing. I believe in taking really small steps, especially if you want to do something and you're not used to doing it. If you try to force yourself to do too much at once, you'll just get burned out. So the BICHOK principle is you just sit your ass in the chair, put your hands on the keyboard. It doesn't matter how well it comes out, because you're always going to have to do another draft. You're always going to have to improve it later. It's more important, especially in the initial stages of learning a skill, of completing a novel, of getting your essay done. It's more important to just get yourself through the motions, get yourself in the habit of sitting down, taking a certain part of your day, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, 30 minutes, whatever you can spare. It's more important to do that on a regular basis and get used to doing that than it is to get a desired result. The important lesson to learn, I think, in any human endeavor, whether it's writing, any kind of art, in business, in your personal relationships, is to start small and stick with it. And this kind of lethargy when it comes to wanting to write is kind of hitting me personally really hard in the last couple of months. In a previous video I mentioned that last year, 2014, a lot of personal issues prevented me from writing a lot during a span of a few months, and I kind of got out of shape compared to what I was before that. And I'm still kind of suffering from that, and it is still a struggle even for me, even though I've written, novels, I've written essays. I continue to write articles for websites and also in my personal life elsewhere, but it's still hard for me now, even having been experienced sometimes, to sit down and kind of suffer through the motions, and I'm struggling now to apply the BICHOK principle to my own life right now. You know, it's really easy to just daydream and think, once I have everything, you know, mapped out the way I want to, then I'll sit down and start writing it. And that's really opposite of the way that it actually works, because your best ideas come to you, or at least in my experience, come after struggling. You know, I'll write crap, essentially what I think is crap, for, you know, days and days and days. And then when I'm not thinking about it elsewhere, you know, in the shower or something, then an idea will hit me, then I get to work on it. So it's only after trudging through all the shit, essentially, that good ideas will finally come. And whenever I'm finding myself, like now, struggling with making myself sit down and work even though I don't want to, I think of one of my favorite quotations from Pablo Picasso, the famous Spanish painter. He said, "Inspiration does exist, but it must find you working." And that works perfectly well for the BICHOK principle. I mean, you have to just get your butt in the chair, hands on keyboard, and do it until you get to the finish line. The habits themselves are more important than any end result, because once you build up the good habits, you'll be able to produce any number of good results in the end. I would like to remind everyone once again to visit the Grauwelt website at grauwelt.com/bichok. That's BICHOK. I'm putting that in the description and also in the video itself. Don't forget to rate and share this video if you liked it, and subscribe to the Grauwelt channel. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.